The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan, we dive back into Uwe Boll with Alone in Craig's milkshake.
Shall we play a game?
Welcome to another episode of Nude Clan, the video game podcast where we don't review video games in the year 2019.
All right.
I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
Caleb Craig.
And Cameron. So,
and what's that?
Why aren't we reviewing a video game today?
All right, so remember last time when... Okay, there was a moment where Cameron said something... And then Caleb was like, wow, really? And it was something that everyone knew had happened. I don't remember what it was. But I was like, no one listens to Cameron.
Oh, yeah, that's a recurring theme.
So there was another instance of no one listening to Cameron very recently because I was like, Cameron, let's review Dark Souls Remastered.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's do it. Let's make that a review.
I've been wanting that to happen.
And you were like, sweet, yes. And then I was like, okay, let's do it this week. And you're like, oh, I'll have to jump into the game and get a refresher, and I was thinking, like, didn't you just barely beat it? And then I thought again, and I was like, oh, he beat it, like, months ago.
I beat it last year, like, early last year.
Yeah, dude, that game came out in May. And
No, not early last year, late last year. I beat it in November, I think.
Oh, you didn't get it till November?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, I just don't pay attention to Cameron. Not that I'm alone in this. The world pays no mind. Clearly. So, like,
recurring thing.
So I messaged yesterday and I was like, guys, we can't do this game. One, I'm not going to beat it, and two, like,
because you went bitch mode, didn't beat it.
Yeah, I didn't beat it, and then also, like, you haven't beaten it recently enough to review it by our own standards. So
no, I mean, I could still review it. It hasn't been that long. Craig has waited even longer to review a game.
It's true.
What game?
Oh.
How long had it been since you played Bastion when you reviewed it?
I replayed Bastion.
It's a short enough game anyway, so.
Yeah.
There were other games you had beaten.
I had Fallout 4 beaten, like, months before Cam had to rush it to review it.
That was our first episode, though. And I love how we're like, all right, we're making a podcast. All right, you guys review Fallout 4 first.
Yeah, it's like, you guys have to do this. So Cam has, like, 2 days to...
Yeah, and I still
beat this game.
Haven't beaten it my second time through, because my second time through, when I really decided I wanted to beat it again, I'm like, I'm gonna go full survival mode on this game, and it takes for fucking ever.
Yeah, you gotta manage so much shit in that fucking survival mode.
But it's a lot more fun.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened. So we're not reviewing Dark Souls. We are reviewing the 2005 film, Alone in the Dark. We just barely got done watching that. Not in the dark, of course. So it'd just be too scary.
Yeah. We had to have the lights on.
We did. But before we get into that, what has everyone been playing this week?
Let's see. Played some Mario Rabbids, and played some Dark Souls 2, and played a bunch of Warframe with Brandy yesterday.
Playing free games, huh?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, and I played a little bit of Devil May Cry.
Which one?
First one.
Are you playing Warframe in a pay-to-win format?
No.
Did you use real world money to gain progress?
Even Craig couldn't pay to win. That's the nice thing. Craig is infallible in that way. He's uncorruptible. He'll pay to still lose. That's what'll happen with Craig. Pay to win implies that you could have ever won.
I mean, it makes me laugh even harder because of our recent experience with that horror game. I forget what it's called. The one where survivors run away from the murderer.
Oh, the Dead by Daylight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he paid to get the fucking...
The pig?
the fastest one on the map. And
Fucking, she's not the fastest.
Dude, bullshit. You can't get away.
You guys are such liars. She's not that fast.
oh, man. But do we have some good clips from that time we played that game?
Yeah.
know.
They were great. Oh, man. Such good moments with Craig. Especially with Craig. Like, being right next to Craig and then just, like... doing a little,
you guys had just as bad, and I didn't clip it, you fucks.
doing a
no,
little shimmy, and then he just runs right past you, and you're standing right there.
I mean, that was a repeatable thing. I could do that multiple times in one game with him standing around.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
man.
go under the docks, and you just stand next to one of the posts, and he just whoosh,
But once you
flies
figure
right by.
once you figure out the format of the game, and the tension is gone from it.
Yeah.
So it's not as interesting
I mean,
the more you play it.
It is, but it isn't at the same time. Because like when somebody's like on you, then you're like, you go. Like it's still pretty intense.
Yeah, but you can just, if you just spread out, if you don't ever group up, and you just get better at the, like, little
Yeah,
mini
but
game.
you gotta group up to get those things up quicker.
Yeah, if you're good at the mini game, though, the little time event, you don't really run into problems.
All you have to do is hope that someone else across the map is fucking up their generator, so it draws the killer to them, and you just have all the time in the world.
And there's a lot of strategy with that, too, just distracting the killer, you know?
Yep.
Purposely fucking up and then, like, booking it. And then everyone else all the other three can group up and, like, just dominate.
Yeah, we did that a lot.
I still couldn't get the flashlight to work the way it's supposed to stun the killer. I could not do that.
Yeah, there were multiple times where Cameron's just like, wait a minute. He turns around and he's got his
It's
flashlight.
I want to try this.
He just gets fucking cut down.
I wait until he grabs one of you fuckers, and I hop out of the bushes where I was hiding, and then start flashing my flashlight at him. Just, motherfucker!
Yeah, everyone's like, help us, Cameron, help us. And you're just
Like the
fucking...
light?
Like, I am helping. It's like waving a flashlight around like a moron.
Shit, it's not working. And I disappear back in the bushes.
Yeah, that's too bad that game is, like, about 5 hours worth of fun, and that's about it, you know?
Well, we kept playing the free play mode where you could take any bonuses you wanted to without worrying about losing them. Whereas if you play the real mode, you have to like unlock stuff over time and find shit, and what you bring in, you lose. So we never played the real way.
Well, the real way you can't really play with friends is...
I mean, you can, but you can't have like a friend be the killer also.
Oh, okay.
We had like 5 people playing it at once, so we didn't do the other thing, which would only have been 4.
Wow, got it. So we could.
Yeah. So pay to win, Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah, hardly.
I don't know, man. That pig was super bullshit. The pig made me more angry than any of the other optional
I
characters.
couldn't use like her like main ability, which is like had something to do with like these.
Did you hit the pig more than Jason
saw
just being
things.
behind you, standing there?
the Michael thing?
Or what about the
No,
nurse?
You fucking bought Michael, so I
Yeah.
don't want to hear it.
What about the nurse?
Mm,
In my wonderful play, as you jumped over the thing to have me teleport right in front of you.
yeah,
Dude, that fucking nurse.
that was cruel. Because I couldn't jump back over.
I think the worst map was the fucking hospital thing. I hated the hospital.
Too enclosed, yeah.
Yeah. Such a shitty place.
Yeah, I don't think we ever escaped that one either. It's just
No.
bad for the survivors.
It's bad for some of the killers, too. Like, the pig would never be good on that one.
Yeah, because
It's
you can't.
perfect.
She has to hide in the tall grass.
It's perfect for the nurse because she can teleport through floors and through walls and stuff. So
It
it's
might
just
be
like,
okay with the doctor, too.
hey,
but,
bitch,
like,
I'm here.
other than those two, it seems like a really shitty map.
Yeah. Man, I kind of miss playing that now.
Yeah, a little bit.
But, all right, that's the Craig. What about the Cameron? What have you been playing?
I played a little bit of Overwatch, a little bit of Dark Souls 2, and then I'm really starting to get into Red Dead Redemption 2 now.
How
Are you
far?
started playing it?
Yeah.
How far in are you?
So I'm at, what did I just do? I got as far as I'm talking to Herr Strauss, and he's having me go collect debts.
Okay.
So I've been collecting debts for a while.
Oh, you're just doing a bunch of side stuff?
Yeah, I decided I wanted to make a little bit extra money on the side and expand the food cart and the medicine cart and a little bit of my ammo cart. So
Nice.
I never found those necessary at all.
I'm just working on my camp, man. can't tell me how to cowboy.
I'm not. I'm
Gotta
just
give
saying,
back.
like, they didn't feel necessary.
Yeah. So you liking the game then?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it definitely. A few things that I'm just taking note of as I'm playing it. Things that are not bad. I just thought they could be handled better, but I think I'm going to try my best to get all the special hunts done too, because that was one thing in Red Dead Redemption that I really liked.
Special animals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think I killed all
Did you
of
do
those.
with the one with the legendary bear yet?
I'm actually doing that one right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I got done collecting the debts. Now I remember. And then I went with Jose to go find the bear.
Okay.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the game. I had a lot of fun.
Yep.
So
hopefully that'll be done here pretty quick.
yeah. All right. So I have been playing Final Fantasy Fables Chocobo's Dungeon almost exclusively this week. Actually, that's not true. I played a ton of Dark Souls Remastered as well. Dark Souls Remastered is still kicking my ass, but I finally beat Ornstein and Smog, and I actually kind of kicked their ass the time I beat them. Like, I just killed the fat slob, Smog, and then Ornstein is brutal when he gets huge, but he's more predictable, and he doesn't just explode like Smog does.
That's the exact way to go about it. You get Smog first, because when Smog has extra lightning damage, he hits you with one of his fucking attacks, and it's over.
Yeah. So what I did is I ground out a bunch of levels, and I also ground out a Silver Knight sword. I picked it up, and I have it fully upgraded, and that's my main weapon now.
Nice.
It's got like a C in dexterity, though, so it's not a good weapon. But I've got a lot of dexterity now, so it's an okay weapon, and I do pretty good damage when I two-hand that motherfucker. So that's my main weapon, and I've been trucking the game ever since I beat those two assholes.
For my playthrough of the game, I mained the mace as my first weapon, and then I have the Baldur's Side Sword as my holy weapon, just to do a lot of quick damage after he smacks him with the mace a couple times.
Nice. I kind of want to use one of the massive weapons that I picked up, but my strength has to be like obscene.
The serpent greatsword. That's a fun weapon to put lightning damage on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I fucked up my my main broadsword or whatever that I was using for most of the game because I added lightning to it, and now it's just so weak.
Yep.
It doesn't do shit. So I had to grind out the Silver Knight sword and max that thing out. And now I'm just kind of cruising through. I found the graveyard or the catacombs area. I'm running through that. I have a curse on me, though, so we're probably going to have to leave.
Just go back to the lady in the sewers and buy some purging stones.
Oh, she has them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. Always have at least one purging stone on your person at all times.
I thought the one guy, the Cristo Redentor guy, had the purging stones.
So he does too, but the reason why you had to go back to him is because you hadn't found the lady in the sewers yet.
Oh, okay.
But she has them too.
I mess around in the sewers because I read that there was a boss down there, and I decided to go explore, and then I got cursed by those fucking frogs. And they're so easy to kill, but like if you get stuck in that curse mist for too long, you're just dead.
Yeah, it's over.
And then you're cursed forever in this game. It's not like other ones where curse just kills your ass, and then you come back and you go and get your shit, you know? In this one, the curse stays beyond the grave. So
Yep, that's why you always have to have a purging stone on you at all times. So
yeah, I did. And then I used it the first time, and then I got cursed again, and then I decided that I didn't want to go back down there.
just got to stock up, man. Grind out some souls, buy a few of them, always have them on you.
Yeah.
It just makes the game so much better.
Yeah, and I could grind out some pretty easy stuff in Anne Orlando. Those big night guys are...
How much humanity do you have on you?
I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4.
Stock up on that shit. You're going to need more.
Also, Cameron, you lied to me. You told me to give the item to reinforce my Estus Flask to the serpent, and I gave him the Firekeeper's soul, and nothing happened. And then I found the spider chick and talked to her.
See, I never
could
played the game
reinforce.
where the serpent was in charge. I never played it that way. So you decided to make an allegiance with the bitch serpent instead of not doing that. It's no.
Well, the spider chick is the one who upgrades her Estus Flask.
So I just had my normal Firelink Shrine lady do it for me.
Yeah, I can't for her because she's gone.
Because you fucked up.
Did I, though?
Yep.
Is it fucking up, or is it just doing it differently?
You done fucked up, son.
Well, I've been playing that.
So we're going to have different outcomes for the game.
Yeah. But it was good. It's hard, man. I'm not prepared for Dark Souls Remastered. It's more brutal than any of the other ones for me so far. But we know what everyone has been playing this week, but the real question is, has anyone beaten a game this week?
Nope.
No.
No for me. So Caleb, still King Hog with your one game beaten.
Fuck yeah.
What game was it again?
Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, that's right. You finally finished Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Slow start for the hosts. We're very lethargic. I think we burned ourselves out last year. I know Cameron for sure did with all the games he beat last year.
No.
Just can't. I don't know what came over me.
So much.
Yeah, he got that. He got that hog flu, the swine flu.
The old swine flu. Huh?
Cameron got that swine flu, and it took him over.
Jesus.
But yeah, guys, keep up to date on your hog, hogib.herokuapp.com. A lot of great stuff going on there. I'm doing a couple challenges. The first one was ranking the big four of thrash, each of their first, second, third, fourth, and so on albums against each other, and it's been quite the journey for me. Anthrax actually is not that bad.
Anthrax is actually not that bad.
They're the bottom still for the most part, but they did beat Slayer once.
I mean, they had to do something in order to be called part of the Big Four at the beginning. So
yeah. I think more than anything, it's just like the pioneers. Although starting it and then making it successful aren't necessarily the same thing, and they had to have done both. So I don't know. They deserve their place, even if it's at the bottom. But man, there are some good fucking albums in there. Like, re-listening to Rain and Blood from Slayer is like, it's so fucking good. And I never really gave that one quite as much love in the past, but now
Rain and Blood.
Now I see it. So if you want to join me in that endeavor, I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do another one that's going to be the other four, which is like thrash that isn't in the big four.
So Testament,
Exodus. There are a couple others up there.
You don't even know who the whole four would be?
No, maybe we'll just do the other two.
No, there's others out there.
I mean, Pantera we could maybe include.
Pantera. What about... Shit, what's their name?
What, Sepultura? Or?
Yeah, Sepultura.
Maybe. They're kind of more death metal. I have another idea for Sepultura and also for Tool. I want to do like the Cavalera conspiracy thing, because they have their own little group, the two brothers, that's called the Cavalera Conspiracy. Then we have Sepultura, and we also have their other band,
A Perfect Circle.
No, fucking shit, Soulfly. So they have three bands they're both part of, so we could do those three bands, and then I want to do one for Maynard James Keenan of Tool, Pussifer, and A Perfect Circle, and rank all of those albums against each other. So it's the Keenan Chronicles. And just see like where he's his best. So I've got a lot of fun little ideas.
Yeah, let's do that.
Floating around, but and all of them taking priority over video games so far this year, unfortunately. But shit, that's all we got for that. Craig, got any questions?
I will in a second.
Nice and prepared, huh?
Yeah, it's totally prepared. How'd you like that meme I put up on the Twitter?
I thought it was enjoyable. You know, I liked it.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt like you would enjoy
It's pretty hot,
that.
you know. Pretty good meme.
Yeah, you should check that out on Twitter. All right. So the question we have is from Felicia Nomiko. She says, if you could pick 10 games to play for the rest of your life, what would they be? Not necessarily a critical top 10, but ones you'd actually continue playing.
10 games. That's a lot of games. This is a very interesting question. All right. So we have 10 games until the day we die.
10.
That's a big number, huh? I'd go Red Dead 2, probably. Finally finish that compendium, study, kill, and track every animal in the game. That'd take probably the rest of my life. So I'll go with that. Civilization 5.
Civ 5 over Civ 6?
Yes. I didn't play Civ 6 in a way that allowed me to learn the game. I played it with Joe once, and I turned on turn timers, and basically nothing was accomplished in that game because we didn't have time to figure out how to play it because the turn timer was way too fast. Plus, I've already put so much time into 5, and I like it a lot.
I really want to try 6 for the religion stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love going to your guys' fucking cities and converting them to the true religion.
Yeah. That is true. So those two. What do you guys got for your first?
See, I think Cam's first two and mine are the same, which is Witcher 3 and
Witcher
Fallout
3.
3.
Witcher 3, I'm going to say Fallout New Vegas because I actually haven't played it. I want to have some new blood in there. If it's 10 games for the rest of the time, got to have some new ones.
Yeah, but I don't think you'd like New Vegas as much.
No, that's fine. I have 10 games, man. And
Sure.
then probably Civ 5. Maybe Age of Empires 2.
Yeah, I'd pick that.
Then some arena shooter. I mean, Overwatch is an easy pick. And then 5 games that haven't come out yet.
Oh.
5 games that haven't come out
Yep,
yet.
I'll
That
pick
is
I'll
such
pick
a
them. I'll pick them
cop-out answer.
I'll pick them as soon as they do.
All right, so I got those 3. I'd probably go Diablo 2. That was really fun. And if I could play with other people, that would be great. So let's see, we got those 4. I'm going to go... Final Fantasy 14.
14, huh?
Yeah,
give me the MMO.
Give me an MMO for the content for the rest of my life. Yeah, I'd probably do that. You got a lot of stuff in there to do. You can go back through different classes, all sorts of different shit. So those 4. I'm gonna go solid 3. I think it'd be fun to get good enough at that to run through on like the hardest difficulty, like European Extreme, shit like that. I can go with that. So that's my top 5.
I'd have to go with Mortal Kombat 9, assuming that I can play it online.
Yeah, that is the best fighting game I've played, I'm pretty sure.
It is. Let's see, what else would I fucking pick? And I don't know, this is hard.
I'd go Age of Empires 1 as well. I had a lot of fun with that game.
Age of Empires 2 and 1.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
I'm going to go with, you know what? I think I'm going to go with Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Get
Digimon Cyber Sleuth?
Yep.
Get that plat.
You have to have something terrible to make the other games seem that much more enjoyable. I mean, if you just pick 10 great games, you're going to start to not appreciate how great they are over time. It's the hard times in life. It's the terrible pieces of shit that we play that make the good ones that great.
But is that the worst one you played?
I don't want to say Galgun, so I'm going to go with Cyber Sleuth.
Do you think Cyber Sleuth is worse than Galgun?
No, that's you missed the point.
Because I kind of do, but
You missed my point there.
Galgun is a
I
quickie.
think Cam just doesn't want to play Galgun for the rest of his life.
Oh, I see. I see what he's saying. I mean, there's stuff to do in Galgun, you know.
Right, for
Go do the
a little bit of
the
time.
alternate routes there, Cam.
I can't imagine that's going to take as long
I
as
can only
one
go.
playthrough
I
of
can
Digimon.
I can only Doki Doki her alternate route so many times before it gets boring.
Yeah, I did Doki Doki some alternate routes for sure in that game.
So I got to go with Cyber Sleuth because at least I like the concept of Digimon. I like the grinding to get better Digimon, but then the boring drag of what the rest of the game is makes other games seem so much better.
The old Doki Doki backdoor.
Actually, I want to make sure I have some Switch games in there so I can alternate consoles and whatnot.
So Dark Souls remastered on the Switch.
Dark Souls remastered on the Switch.
I want to be able to play it for 4 hours at a time, max.
Then I'm probably going to have to take on the Switch. I know it's not a Switch game necessarily, but I'll probably do Darkest Dungeon just because that game has so much depth and variety to it. You could play that for a long time and then not have it be too stagnant, besides it being a fucking hard piece of shit. What else? Probably some anime game, finally. If I have 10 games to play, I'm going to eventually get around to it.
What about that Nier?
Nier, probably. But I've already played Nier.
But there's more than you explored.
Not that much more, though.
There's like 26 endings. You only saw like 5.
You eat a fish and you die. That's one of the endings, Caleb. Like,
Still, though.
All the other endings are just jokes. I mean, Nier is a great story, but I don't know how many playthroughs it really lets you have.
Bayonetta, that's a game you could play over again.
You know what? You know what, guys?
Bayonetta?
No.
Oh.
Persona 5.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
That is a game that I acknowledge is a good game, even though it's not my type of good game. And that's a game I could easily sink tons of hours into and try a variety of different things. It's the same. Actually, it won't replace my Digimon pick because Digimon is a crappy version of Persona 5, is what I'll say. And so I just need that variety.
I think I've got to go with Pokemon Soul Silver.
And then, of course, the 3 Dark Souls games. I mean, that went without saying, right, guys?
Over the Bloodborne, though? Which one would you leave out to keep Bloodborne?
I mean,
I'll leave out 2.
I would leave all of them out to keep Bloodborne, but
I'd leave out 2 and play Bloodborne instead.
yeah.
I mean, I haven't beat Bloodborne. I mean, I haven't beat 2 yet.
You didn't beat Bloodborne.
You don't even know. I haven't beat 2 yet, but I still think Bloodborne is a better game than 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously. It's our Lord and Savior of Soulsborne games.
And I really enjoyed 1. I really did.
I like 3.
3 is great too.
Yeah.
3 is just
I'm gonna
nice
pick- I'm
and
gonna pick-
easy.
I'm gonna pick
I'll
up
probably
3
take
again.
3.
Yeah, but we already did everything in 3. Like, we did everything in 3.
You didn't do the DLC.
Well, yeah, other than the DLC, but we fought every boss. Like,
But
when
you
it was
didn't
not,
do the DLC.
it was not hard to find him either.
You didn't do the DLC.
So, like,
Let's go do the DLC.
I don't want to do the DLC. I don't want to pay. I already paid. Actually, I didn't pay. That's the whole point. I didn't pay for it.
Yeah, so get the DLC.
Well, no, I want it to be free still, is the problem. Have you done the DLC for Dark Souls 3, Cameron?
No.
Okay.
No.
You've done Bloodborne, though, right?
No.
Yes? Oh.
No.
They're supposed to be pretty hard.
I know.
Did you do the ones for remastered?
I
it comes with it.
did. I don't know if I did do one part of the DLC. I don't think I did both of them.
Fuck, I wonder if I did.
I did the one in the garden. I did that DLC.
Okay, maybe not. I don't know what that is.
Um,
Is it like after the game you get the DLC?
no, it's during the game.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it's like going to a new area.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So you wouldn't even know, probably.
If you're playing through and you don't, and then this is your first playthrough, and you're just wandering and not looking at any guides, you could just stumble upon it and not know you're playing DLC.
That's kind of how I like it, honestly. That's a cool way to add DLC. Is just like a zone that you find, and then later you're like, oh, that was totally optional.
And so they did it very Dark Soulsy, where all of the parts of the world are connected. You just got to know where to, or just stumble upon it on accident. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably take Bloodborne with me, and play with the cane. It turns into a whip, which is awesome. I think that'd be fun.
I'm actually trying that in one of my playthroughs.
It's a good weapon, huh?
Weird.
I think it's sweet.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I mean, the Kirk Hammett is obviously the best.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. Oh, we need like a Dave Mustaine weapon in there too. Have them face off.
But the games I've mentioned so far, I will take Persona 5. Is Cyber Sleuth really the worst game
you've ever played?
Do you really want to take a really bad game?
Worst playable game is what I'm trying to get at here. Something that's garbage, but you can still play through it.
What unplayable games have you played for the show?
Nothing really. So
yeah, see, Cameron's avoided all of the
yeah,
misery.
he hasn't. I don't think he's played a
I
single
mean,
survival
Bounty-
horror, which has been
Bout Hutch
usually
was unplayable for Craig, but I still got it. But we're the only ones who didn't have any issues with it, really.
It's because you didn't play the fucking bullshit version.
The bullshit version. We all played the same version.
I played the
Lies.
PS2 one.
Yeah, Schweiss played the PS2 one.
I
think
played
mine was
the
probably the least corrupt
the
too.
port to PlayStation 4.
Oh, dude, it's fucking horseshit. How did you not run into anything in that game?
I mean, there
It was one of the
some
most glitchy
bullshit.
pieces of fucking filth I've ever seen.
I mean, there was one moment that I fell through the floor and it was glitchy, but nothing like what you had. Not at all.
Yeah, something's wrong with your PS4. I'm pretty sure, Caleb. Like, there's got to be
Lies.
something going on.
PS4 is fine.
I could see Witcher 3 being a good one. It's because
Yeah.
I could finally get into Gwent, and like you can play Gwent with fucking anybody in that world.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everyone's down for Gwent, basically.
Tons of side story and side content to do.
Optional
two really
paths.
great DLCs.
You still need to do that last one.
Blood and Wine.
Yeah.
I've started it. I just haven't gotten around to finishing it. So
Yeah. Have you guys kept up on your hog this year?
Yep.
Your
I think I'm in
DLCs to
second
hog.
place right now.
Have you done anything to hog yet, Cameron?
I have just exercised so far this year to hog.
Hmm.
I haven't really listened to an album all the way through.
You fuckers better keep up on that shit this year. I'm looking at you, Craig. You're always talking about how you'd have so many points if you would just
I'm
log.
in second place right now.
Well, there you go. See what happens when you
And
try.
the person above me has beaten like 5 games already. I only
Hey.
have the fucking one.
What's propelling you to your victory?
My fucking like 8 audiobooks.
Oh yeah, that's right. Audiobooks are worth actually kind of a shitload.
They're worth a decent amount.
Craig doesn't have to fucking work anymore. He just has to stand in a sound studio and listen to books and just fucking consume books.
Essentially.
Fucking
It's
piece of shit, Craig.
It's fucking great, dude.
I could do that too. I got Jurassic Park just barely,
Fucking pieces of shit, both of you.
but I've been listening
I mean,
to the Big
I could
Four
be
thing.
logging album after album at work if I really wanted to. So
Album's only worth like 1 point though.
I think
that's
it's
not
2.
enough.
Is it 2?
Yeah, but I have a lot of them. I already have like 17. So I mean, of course, I'm getting my ass handed to me by a lot of people, but
A lot of people.
So before we have to go Doki Doki an alternate route for this question, do we have any other questions?
Yes. We
God,
have a
what?
few.
Okay, well,
Jake actually asked Cam if you have ever considered getting a movement watch.
I do not want to get... so I call them department store watches, and movement I feel kind of fits that. If you like the watch, get it. Don't care what other people think. But I personally would not get a movement watch.
what is a movement watch?
It's just it's a watch brand that's getting popular with some YouTubers just because they look good and they're cheaper, and so it's easy for people to push and advertise it. I personally would not get it. They might be decent watches, but generally with watches like that, you end up paying more than they're actually worth, so I wouldn't do it.
All right. That's from Cameron Wilson, the host of Out of Time,
The Watch
the
podcast.
Watch podcast. Yeah, I want that to happen so bad. But
If you really are seriously
don't.
interested in getting a watch, I can help you get a watch that's actually not too expensive, but actually a decent watch.
and he has a great club that you could join if you promise not to steal.
Yeah, the honor system is a real thing in that club, so...
Yeah. Well, it seems like it's worked out. I mean,
Every time I've been a part of it, yeah. So the club they're talking about is these other watch guys that I know. We all pitch in like $15 or so, and we buy a really expensive watch, and then we wear it for a week and send it to someone else. It's just a way for people to get to know whether or not they're going to like a watch. And then one person is randomly picked to keep the watch.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Have you bought a watch based on a watch you tried?
No.
Okay,
I
so
don't have enough disposable
it's been
income from that just
okay.
yet.
I was going to say it's either been a very large disappointment to Cameron, or he just doesn't have the kind of money that.
Or I don't
watch
wanna-
Have you
demands.
received a watch in this manner?
Yeah, he has. He's worn them.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but have you like
Have I won one?
Won
No.
one. Okay.
And yeah, there was a $1,000 watch that went through one of these times.
Yeah,
so
I know. I remember you talking about it.
Did you
were
wear that
excited
one?
about
I
it.
did.
Was it really fucking nice?
It was nice. I did not my kind of watch, but yeah,
And you don't want to wear $1,000 on your wrist.
probably not. I mean, I like watches, but I can never justify spending that much on a watch for myself personally. So I'd rather buy a PC or a gun even to go shooting rather than just a watch.
Yeah,
And
you
I have been wearing one for a long time too.
once you get the 007 one, you can't shoot people with a watch. You know.
If
The
you
old
ever
spy master.
really want to get into watches, there's this whole article, whole theme of James Bond and his watches. Now they changed over time.
Oh, nice.
James Bond is a big pusher of watches.
I believe it.
And,
they have like a new watch in every movie.
Yep. And Omega is the current brand that he wears. So
Oh, nice. So there you go. Did he ever? Was it ever Rolex?
for a good portion of time, yeah.
Okay, that's
But it was also Seiko back in the 70s, 80s, 70s. Can't remember exactly when.
nice. Nice. There you go. The history of Bond watches.
Mm-hmm.
Out
Were
of
you,
time.
when
with
you,
the-
when you borrowed those movies from Joe, were you just watching it for the watches?
No, I already knew about them. I was watching it for the films themselves.
I was gonna say I don't even remember the watches, to be completely honest. But yeah, there you go.
Cam's like, he wore this specific watch in this film, and
No, I'm not that into it, but I know people who are. So
All right. What was that was a Cameron specific one.
yeah, it was a Cameron specific one, which is strange.
If you want another one, a
Yeah,
third
fuck it.
question for some reason, another Felicia Namika one. She says, "Have you guys seen the VR game Beat Saber, and does it make you more interested in VR?"
So my roommate bought Beat Saber and PlayStation VR after my telling him not to do that because buying it for the PlayStation is the inferior version of Beat Saber. Because on PlayStation it's really hard to get new music, whereas if you get the computer version, you can just download mods with a whole bunch of music packs and stuff like that. So if you do want to get Beat Saber VR, I'd suggest it for the computer right now until they change things with PlayStation, and PlayStation can add more songs. But Beat Saber, it's all right. It's like it's not quite like Guitar Hero or fucking Rock Band. It's fun in its own way.
Have you played it?
I have played it.
So on it.
I would say maybe. I'm really holding out for a VR shooter before I can say whether or not I'd do it. I did play some Borderlands 2 VR.
How was that?
It's decently fun. Can make you motion sick. Does make you disoriented in the room if you don't keep your feet fucking planted towards the TV. It's not perfect, but it's fun. I wouldn't want to play the whole game like that, but it's fun enough.
Yeah, I played a bit of Resident Evil 7 in VR, and that was an interesting experience.
So when I play
made
VR,
it easier to shoot some stuff accurately, but other than that,
so when I was playing it, it helps you. You don't really have to aim with the gun. You have like an on-screen, reticle that you can aim, but you can aim down the sights by holding the gun in front of you. And I think you can double hand your weapon to prevent a ton of recoil on your weapon. And doing that and going around it's fun. But the movement is still kind of weird because you have to use your other hand to point where you want to move and then press that. So running and gunning at the same time is a little bit harder because of the recoil, but it's fun. So I did have fun doing that, and that does kind of make me want VR.
I was turning in that game because when I was playing Resident Evil
That's
7, it
one
was like
thing.
a 30-degree angle. Like every
That's
time
one
you
thing I
tried to
didn't like,
turn.
and it's the same thing. You have to press
It's the
one of the
same
buttons to
thing.
turn, and I don't like that. I want there to be a more fluid way to turn
Yeah,
around.
that really bugged me. I was like, this.
I want to have a
feels
VR
wrong.
system where you can actually turn yourself and have your character turn to face the direction you're pointing. You can't really move and have him move in real life. You still have to use the movement key, but that's fine. But if I can turn around and face my body the way I want my character to face, that would be fun. But it would fucking disorient you to fucking shit, dude.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah. You'd have to have like one of those like special things you see people in VR being like the little circle fence things. So they don't, like, walk around.
The VR system or the VR treadmill that you see in Ready Player One is based off of a real VR treadmill that people are working on right now.
Yeah.
So
Nice. Yeah, I don't know if I'm sold on VR yet myself.
I would not drop money on it as it is now unless I had a really cool first-person shooter experience in VR.
Yeah.
If there was a lot more games for it and that I was interested in, and it was like $100, then yeah, I'd probably get it.
So maybe some more AAA titles.
And then Beat Saber is just it's rhythm gaming with extra steps or less steps, depending on how you look at it. You're just hitting blocks with lightsabers in a rhythmic manner, but more steps because you have to put on a VR headset for it to work.
Well, I mean, the game mechanics itself.
I mean,
less,
we're glossing over one of the most important VR features,
which is
VR porn.
Oh, yeah.
Movie
I
theater
haven't
mode.
actually tried that. Joe's the
I
only
have
one
not
who's
either.
done that.
Yeah, we need to get Joe
Is
to do a
he?
guest episode on here so we can attest
Did you
to
try
that.
it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. No, but
But can't backpedal now. The
Yeah.
cat's out of the bag. How
Yeah.
was it?
That's. I didn't actually. I don't think, but
You don't think?
yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
I don't know if it worked. It was Joe's shitty headset thing.
his-
I don't
his
think
cardboard?
it functioned quite correctly. I don't know. My phone was a piece of ass back then, so
Now that you have an updated phone, you got to try again.
yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to do that with my nice phone.
Why not?
Guys, I don't trust it. But
Do you not look at porn on your nice phone?
no. God, no. It's on the
That's
it's
a
on
He
first.
doesn't want to. He
It's on
doesn't
the-
want to corrupt it
it's on
more
the
than it's going
stepdad's
to be.
network, man. I can't be looking up porn on there. I don't know what he can see.
Not when you're connected to your own fucking Wi-Fi, you bitch.
I don't know, man. They're out there. They,
Who's they?
everyone, them, the big they, capital T, Craig. They're watching. They're listening right now, even though we're not even streaming. We're just on this fucking SD card in this room. They hear me. They hear you. They hear us. They, Craig. They,
Wasn't there a movie called Them?
them.
Probably.
Them is
It was
they.
either they or them, but it was like a
They
stupid
are
horror
them.
movie.
Yeah, I want to make my my fucking thriller, my climate change thriller, The Day After Yesterday. I want to make that so bad. I'll just make Cameron the Jake Gyllenhaal character, and
So
like
the main actor then.
yeah, and so
Nice.
like halfway through the film, I'll be like, wait a minute. The guy turns around and he looks at us. He's like, "You said it was going to happen the day after yesterday, right?" Yes. Oh my God.
That's today.
That's today. Yeah.
Did you not watch the South Park episode that totally did that?
No, I didn't. God
Oh.
damn it!
You didn't?
No,
really
I don't
that?
watch. No, I haven't seen
Oh,
it.
that's one of my favorite episodes. It's a good one.
Is that exactly what they did?
Yeah.
God damn it, dude!
You'll have to watch it. It's a fucking great
I
episode.
sure didn't hear about it and then conveniently forgot about it like you do. And
it's
then
about global
thought it was
warming.
your own idea.
It
It
was-
could have.
It was like global
That seems
warming.
more
They thought
likely.
that like global warming was happening because this dam broke, and like they thought it was like an actual thing. They're like, "Oh, we see global warming, it's coming," and then they just like, it was really funny.
Maybe it was one of those things that I just something like. It's almost like you know how you're supposed to see the people in your dreams or people you've seen throughout the day. Or people like you, the random NPCs in your dreams are like people's faces who you've seen before. Although I don't know how you would know that because like I don't remember every face I've ever seen.
I think that's just a theory. So
Maybe, but maybe it's the same theory. Like when you hear just like a random sentence, even though you have nothing to place it with, you come up with an
Oh, no, that
idea
happens
and
all the
think of
time.
it as your own.
you could subliminally hear something and then have that kind of stick around.
Yeah. Shit. Maybe advertising works. Subliminally. I mean, that's why I subliminally...
I mean, that's why a lot of ads will have fucking certain music tracks to it. So whenever you hear a popular song or hear some, that jingle sticks around.
See, you know a great way to avoid that, though? Only listen to 80s thrash metal, and then you'll never have that connection. You'll never be like, oh, I want a Sprite right now when you hear that Ariana Grande song, because you're like, what is this? Who is this woman? One of the biggest acts of the last 5 years. I'm like,
What does it make me want a Sprite?
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
like, I'm really thirsty.
60s and 70s rock are off limits too because they use those a lot.
That is true, yeah. Any arena rock.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking can't. You'll want to go binge on every possible thing. So, yeah. Fuck it. Alone in the Dark, guys. Let's watch this fucking trailer for the 2005 movie Alone in the Dark. Alone in the loading screen. There we go.
Alone in the Dark.
Even the logo looks like shit.
Hello? Miss Hedrak?
That was it? That was the fucking trailer?
That is a terrible movie trailer. Like, nothing happened. And
I
they
mean,
revealed one of the deaths.
Yeah. That was a very bad trailer.
That was, my God. So, Alone in the Dark is a 2005 Canadian-German-American action horror film. Loosely, very loosely, based on the fourth installment of Info Grames's Alone in the Dark for A New Nightmare. So, the movie, of course, directed by Uwe Boll, and has Christian Slater and fucking Tara Reid from the lovely Sharknado quintology or whatever it is now. Movie budget $20 million. The box office, it took home $10.4 million. So
this movie also has 1% on Rotten Tomatoes.
a 1%. Isn't it the worst rated video game movie, or is there one with a 0?
I think there was one with the 0, and I think it might have been the Blood Rain sequel.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. This movie is, spoilers before we get into it. This movie does suck. So, but I'm going to say right now, I don't think it's the worst movie.
It's definitely not the worst movie we've seen so far.
Yeah, for this show. It's the worst movie I have watched this year by a long shot. Although, I don't know, I watched that Bird Box movie. Did you guys watch that thing?
No.
I haven't
Did
seen it yet.
not.
It's all right. It was really good for a while, and then it was all right at the end.
Then it was just all right.
Yeah, it's all right. Sandra Bullock's great. But, all right,
I've seen a lot of Bird Box memes, but
yeah.
and there's already been a Bird Box challenge that kids have already gotten into
Car accidents
car
with?
accidents for.
Yeah, I
so-
saw that. It's fucking great. So,
Oh, it's the Tekken movie that has a 0%.
oh, okay. Tekken has a 0. That's not that far away, is it?
Nope.
Oh my God. All right. So, movie starts out with an opening crawl, and it's already too long when this happens. So, the crawl basically sets up the world, sets up the Native American tribe that everything is based off of, and it takes about a minute longer than it needs to. And this is something I've started to notice with Uwe Boll, where he'll have a shot, and he'll just linger, just
Just a little too long, and the actor starts getting uncomfortable, and you don't know what to do with their face.
exactly. Even the voice actor doing the opening crawl is uncomfortable and doesn't know what to do with his face. You know, like
Am I
it's just-
recording an intro, or am I doing an audiobook?
yeah, Simon and Schuster Audio presents. You know, like it's too much. So right off the bat, it's already too shitty. It has way too much setup. We got an evil bureau called Bureau 713 that deals with the paranormal, and it's some government agency. And the movie starts out after this 7-minute open crawl with a kid running away and a bunch of people chasing him. And
And the kid is Ben Affleck's son.
yeah, Ben Affleck Jr. Is in the movie, cleft chin, everything. It looks totally like Ben Affleck. And then he grows up to be a Christian Slater who looks nothing like Ben Affleck. His butt chin, his cleft chin goes away with age. Something I have never seen happen in my life, but fuck it, who knows? And the kid starts out with him running away, and we get this huge conspiracy where they release. I don't even remember what happened. Like they said, the kids all disappeared.
Yeah, so they like took like 20 kids from an orphanage for like an experiment, and they put something in them, and they made them sleeper agents, basically.
Yeah,
and then he was like the only person to survive because he got electrocuted by hiding in a fucking like generator thing for some reason as a child.
Yeah, well, the thing he was in, like, if that would have electrocuted him, that probably should have killed him.
Yeah,
He's
that
been
would
modified, man.
totally would have murdered him.
But yeah, there's this huge conspiracy. The nuns are in on it. This guy's like, we're in too deep to back out now. We're doing this thing. And like,
just tell the cops that the kids disappeared.
yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, why would she do that? Like, who is this man? Did he just like start an orphanage and then like with the plans of 30 years down the road, I'm going to then create some fucked up experiment and use these children as my guinea pigs for the experiment? Like, or did he just come to a random orphanage and tell this bitch how things were going to be from now on, this nun, and she totally plays ball? I don't understand the setup at all. I don't get it, but whatever. They perform some evil experiment. Edward Carnby escapes it, and then we get some nice introduction via a taxi scene, and Carnby's kind of walking around talking. He's like, I'm afraid of the dark. And I wrote down here, Carnby is afraid of the dark and terrified of Hispanics. Because he's getting chased by this very large, I think he's Hispanic guy.
Not.
I don't know.
He looks like
He looked like
guy?
the bald guy with the mole on his head.
No, he's not Hispanic.
He looked
at
like he
all.
was in the
He
cab.
He is a very white guy.
Okay, he's afraid of white guys.
He looks like someone's uncle got lost on vacation is what he looks like.
He's got the shirt on and everything.
He's very afraid of the giant mole in that guy's fucking head.
Yeah. Carnby's afraid of the dark and giant moles. Because he gets into this taxi cab and he starts.
And I just have to say, every like action scene of people fighting, it looks like you get people who are very uncomfortable doing these fighting / action scenes, and they're trying to do it, but it's just so uncomfortable to watch. It just looks off every time they're doing something. Like they did like one practice run through, and now they're doing it for real. Is what it looks like.
There are,
Yeah.
I don't know if they did second takes in this movie at all. To be
I mean,
completely honest with
obviously,
you.
there's a scene that we're going to talk about later
yeah.
where they obviously just went, well, fuck it.
Yeah, one shot, one take.
Yeah. But yeah, Carnby's driving around, and the car, he's in this taxi cab getting driven around town, and this guy starts chasing him and ramming into the back of his taxi cab, and the taxi driver's like freaking out. He's some kid, and then the guy wrecks the taxi. And the kid that's driving the car.
First of all, this fucking 90s / early 2000s kid is not wearing his seatbelt. He's driving a taxi. It looks like straight out of the 70s, and I don't know what
2005.
It's 2005 was when the film was filmed. But come on, no one cares about that fucking. It's in good condition for how old it looks, but come on.
Yeah.
He fucking like they crash, and the guy is like about to ram into the car again to like kill Carnby so he can take whatever he has with him. But then Carnby like escapes the car and tells the kid who's driving the car to stay put. So then when the fucking dude rams the car, then he asks the kid if he's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, no. So they get fucking pushed up against this fruit stand or whatever it was, the car sideways, and the dude's in the other,
It was like a van.
more modern taxi. He backs up to ram him again, and for some reason there's a good 20 or 15 seconds for him to go, hey, stay in the car, it'll be okay. As the dude's backing up, he steps out of the car, and the guy slams on the accelerator, goes to slam into Carnby, right? Because he just got out of the fucking car, and Carnby does this most ridiculous little jump to get out of the way, and he just like lands on his face. And then in the excruciating 5-6 seconds where he's slowly picking himself up, don't mind that there's another dude trying to kill you right there in that car. He's going to slowly get up and say, "Hey kid, are you all right?" And you don't even see the kid in the shot. You kind of like see the back of his head a little bit, and the kid doesn't even matter at this point anymore. That's the last time you ever see him.
reply.
I mean, the last thing we saw of him, he was holding the wrong side of his head
and-
after he got a wound.
Yeah. And then you glance into the vehicle and like, oh shit, he's gone. Where did he go? I mean, I only gave him fucking forever to get somewhere else.
Yeah, and the thing is, the guy ran around and he like got up above.
For some reason, like he
climbed up like a fence thing, and then like while he was searching for him,
who sends someone's uncle in his fucking Hawaiian fucking button-up shirt to go assassinate a dude and not even give him a gun or anything? I mean, that would have been just pop. It's over.
I mean, obviously he didn't fucking need it because he like jumps down from
No.
like the
So-
super high fence,
and so it cuts to this-
slams the dude with both of his fucking elbows.
No, it's even worse than that. It cuts to him like flying to a fence and climbing up the fence like he's going to escape, right? Just fucking flying up this fence. And then he's like looking around, he can't see him, and somehow, after climbing up that fence, he made it up to some like apartment's little balcony thing to then do a double elbow slam. By the way, I've never seen that in the film before, ever. And he just tries to come down and slam him, but he obviously doesn't actually hit him with his elbows.
Yeah,
he just kind of
like
lands there,
gently
and then
knocks him over,
and nothing really comes of that. But then
Yeah.
later, as they're fighting, and he kicks him through a window, and he jumps in through the door. He then the big bad guy comes up to Carnby, and then gently, ever so gently, picks up his head and puts one of his hands behind his head and the other hand onto the side of it, and then pretends to slam his head on the ground, but he's cradling his head the whole time, so it doesn't actually hurt him. And they kept this all on film.
Yeah, it's not like a quick cut or anything, or like you can't see the bottom of his head. You could see all of it.
He's fucking crazy. Like he's like maybe tapping his back against the ground a little hard. And that might have hurt the actor a little bit. Might need to get that looked at after the show. A little chiropractor in the back room, stretch him out.
Yeah.
But just the most gentle head slam you've
See,
ever seen.
I figured the guy climbed the fence thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna double elbow this guy and it's probably gonna kill him. Like I'm like 10 feet in the air. I'm gonna land on this fucker and I'm gonna break his neck. And he fucks it up completely though. But I was thinking like as he climbed that fence, I'm like, Jesus Christ, can you imagine if that's like how it is on the southern border of the United States? Like we got these fences up. It was like fucking the guy like did one jump onto the fence and then like just vaulted himself up the second half and then climbed into this fucking building and scaled his way over just to do this double elbow drop that he fucked up and then to cradle the guy's head and pretend to slam it into the ground. Like it's immediately painful. And thankfully this Uncle Ben here with the mole on his head doesn't have any lines, or else those would probably be just as bad. And he's after Carnby's Ocarina of Time, as far as I could tell. He's got this weird little fucking artifact.
We kind of skipped over the scene where the boat's out in the ocean. They're bringing up a chest from a shipwreck, and kind of skipped over that. And then he's the guy who called and said, hey, he has the blah, blah, blah. We'll pick him up after he leaves the airport. And he's the guy who sent the assassin after him.
Yeah. So, anyway, they keep fighting, and suddenly there's a box of fish with a giant hook poking out of the top of it. And I wrote down here, why is there a hook in your fish box? And that's the thing I asked when I was watching the movie. I'm like, why is there a hook in that fish box?
It's more than just it's like a spear hook.
And I thought about it for a couple of seconds, and I was like, that's a disgusting sentence. Like, you want to put this hook in your fish box for me, please? And it's just this like, oh my God, there's something really sharp. Someone's going to die here. And Carnby like kicks the dude off of him, and the guy lands on it. And this is what kills him.
What do you bet he's going to kick him over his head? And he's going to land. Yep. Didn't even get it all the way out of my mouth.
Thing is, though, is Carnby stole a cop's gun and shot this guy like 5 separate times. And Cameron brought up a good point. He shot him with hollow points, but they always had an exit wound. Those are supposed to mushroom inside of your body. And
first, he has hollow points, and apparently, if there's these just giant blocks of ice, you're thinking probably about how many? It's
Probably like 9 inches thick.
9 inches thick, and he shoots 2 bullets, one right after the other. So the first bullet breaks this large box
It
of ice.
shatters the ice as
Yeah.
if it were made of glass.
It
and
shatters it.
then the second hollow point round just explodes through this guy's chest and leaves this huge exit wound. And you're just like, okay, nice.
Yeah,
That's cool.
thankfully Uwe Boll did figure out that the bullet does leave its casing after he shoots it, but he hasn't quite figured out exactly what bullets do
Yeah.
to the body.
And apparently this guy getting shot does not know what bullets do either because he keeps coming for him.
yeah, no one knows what guns do.
And at this point, this is before the fishhook scene. Before this, and he's just, Carnby's just like, okay, well, bullets didn't work, so let me punch him a little bit. That should probably work, right?
It did work better, though. I will say
he seemed more affected by getting bludgeoned by Carnby's fist than he ever did getting shot.
I mean, when he fucking puts his hands on Carnby's neck and starts to lift him up in the air, and then Carnby does the whole shoot his arms up to knock his hands off his neck, and then in the same fucking motion, grab some chains that are above his head and pull himself up to kick him.
Yeah.
I mean, we're dealing with this fucking world class martial artist. I've never seen someone float through the air like that.
Yeah, I can see why in the 2008 Alone in the Dark film they made Carnby look like Keanu Reeves. It's because of this movie. You know, he's clearly a martial arts master.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah. So he gets rid of the uncle guy on vacation with the mole on his head. Pretty grisly, and he keeps that ocarina safe, And then we get a scene in a museum here where they start talking about the Oconee tribe, which is what was brought up earlier during
the reason
super
why
long-
the text scroll at the beginning was so long. It was taking all that time to describe what the Oconee tribe was, how they existed 10,000 years ago, and they believed in a world of light and a world of dark, and they opened a door to the dark world. Blah blah blah, and that was all the exposition at the beginning.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the funny things about the development of this movie, there was an alternate script of the film. So I guess Blair Erickson came up with the first drafts of this script, and Uwe Boll changed it to make it more action-packed than a thriller. And I want to read something here. This is from Erickson and his discuss at his treatment on set here. And this is kind of what he said. He said, the original script took the Alone in the Dark premise and depicted it as if it were actually based on a true story of private investigators in the northeastern U.S. whose missing persons cases began to uncover a disturbing paranormal secret. It was told through the eyes of a writer following Edward Carnby and his co-worker for a novel, and depicted them as real-life blue-collar folks who never expected to find hideous beings waiting for them in the dark. Tried to stick to the H.P. Lovecraft style and the low-tech nature of the original game, and they always kept the horror in the shadows, so you never saw what was coming for him. He says Boll was able to hire his loyal team of hacks to crank out something much better than our crappy story, and add in all sorts of terrifying horror movie essentials like opening gateways to alternate dimensions, bimbo blonde archaeologists, sex scenes, mad scientists, slimy dog monsters, special army forces designed to battle the slimy CG dog monsters, tarot read, Matrix slow-mo gun battles, and car chases. Oh yeah, and a 10-minute opening backstory scroll read aloud to the illiterate audience, the only people able to successfully miss all of the negative reviews. He says, I mean, hell, Boll knows that's where the real scares lie. So, this guy... Okay, so does that other storyline sound any better to you guys?
Not really.
Because to me, it sounds almost worse. It's based on someone following Edward Carnby. God.
It's pretty bad.
I honestly, I don't think there was any way that Alone in the Dark was going to be good. But all of that aside, I mean, after the bald guy dies, this is where we get some backstory. We get the night at the museum kind of shit happening, where they're talking about the Oconee tribe again and talking about how they were like super advanced. Basically, for me, it sounds like the Mayans or the Aztecs, Like, oh, we had this great tech back in the day, and now it's lost, but there's some of it that we're coming up with. And it's like this huge shroud of mystery over these ancient peoples. And we get some nice backstory through the museum scene there. And then this is where we get the box from the sea. And they pull it out of the sea, and this one guy's like, "Hey, wait a minute!" And it looks like he's rubbing paint on this box that looks gold-like, and he's like, "This box is made of solid gold." And I'm like, I wrote down here, rubs gold paint on box. Is this made of solid gold? Because the guy's like rubbing his hand, very like almost hidden like, and then suddenly there's like gold,
a gold patch under the moss.
Yeah, under the.
What I think is it really was like it's probably like fake plastic type gold color underneath, and they just put a whole bunch of dirt on it, and he's just wiping away that stuff.
Yeah. So they pulled it out of the ocean, and it's fucking gold box, and apparently the sleepers are activated by the opening of the Ark of the Covenant. That's what I wrote down here. Thanks to part to Cameron.
No, don't open the box. I'm like, it's Ark of the Covenant, get down. And so he opens it. You don't see what comes out of the box when it's opened because you're conveniently shut inside the room with the old guy with the flimsy-ass doors.
Yeah, and all you hear is just gunfire, like endless gunfire. And the
I didn't
doors
see any guns on the fucking dudes on the boat.
They didn't have any. There was none.
So did the A-team show up again like they did for everyone else?
Yep. A-team showed up, and then they just disappeared as soon as the dude left the little cabin room.
I think
he was locked in by a very, very thin metal door that was rattling due to the sound of the gunshots.
Yeah, I think there was a guy on the other side of the door just making the gunshots and like banging on the door a little bit, just and then just slamming his fist against the door. And then he got quiet, and then he went and laid down on the ground.
Yeah, and then the Dr. Hudgens, I think is what his name was, like leaves that little room, and he sees a bunch of blood everywhere. Then he goes to inspect the metal box, and he just happens to know where the secret compartment is and where the thing is to open it, and he just takes out the little object that was in there, and he gets the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I thought that was really stupid. The gold metal box that he was screaming about not opening, he knows exactly how to navigate.
Yeah, he knows how to navigate it, and he knows there's a secret compartment in there.
This culture's known to hide secret panels in the bottom right portion of the box. If
Yeah.
you flip that open right here.
What is it with Uwe Boll and secret compartments in like boxes? Like he did that in House of the Dead too.
Yeah, he did.
Remember that where like
Yep.
the one guy has the Cuban cigars and then he pulls
there's
it
like
open.
fucking ammunition in there. He's like, I'm gonna smuggle an illegal substance under an illegal substance.
Yeah, and we had the joke of like there's also another one with like a bunch of prostitutes, like fucking like a bunch of like Asian prostitutes that don't speak a lick of English underneath the arsenal that he kept in his box. Yeah. Uwe Boll is obsessed with compartments, like secret shit. I bet you he has like a big trench coat that he wears around all the time that has like 50 hidden pockets in it.
His fucking house has like several different secret hallways.
And like numerous panic rooms. So he can
No,
escape
I think
from
the
his
most ridiculous part was that he has a secret compartment. So no, the box itself is illegal. What appears to be in the box. Then you lift up the fucking false floor to find something even more illegal. Then you lift it up again, and something even more illegal's down there. You're just like, I don't think you're doing this right.
Yeah.
That's not how you hide shit.
You ever heard the saying, don't put all of your eggs in one basket? You should alter that to be, don't put
like
all your
the-
illegal shit in one box.
It's like the frozen fish on top that he moves it. It's like the nice cigars.
It's not like someone's going. He's only smuggling illegal ammunition. It's just. Don't worry about it.
Whoa, there are guns in here.
He's got a fucking grenade launcher, an RPG.
Whoa, there's a Taiwanese whore underneath that.
It's human trafficking.
Yeah.
How do you get her to fit in the box?
They can fit, Cam Game, trust me.
You can fit them anywhere. Yeah, they'll do anything to get out of there.
They'll fit in the trench coat if you want.
Yeah, he's
I
got
think
one
this
in his
conversation
trench coat.
Went the wrong way.
Yeah.
Fucking A. He's obsessed with that shit though. And we get the name of the orphanage that
Carnby grew up in, because Carnby went back because a bunch of people started going missing. It activated the sleepers, as we said, when they opened that Ark of the Covenant, right? And the sleepers are all the kids in the orphanage who
disappeared that night
disappeared.
that he was hiding in the generator thing,
Yeah.
the power box.
I don't know how they didn't find him either, because they were on his ass. And then, like, there's a building suddenly, and then they don't look in the building. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. Fucking whatever. But he goes to the orphanage, and it's called Our Lady of Perpetual Light. Is the name of the fucking orphanage in this movie, and I'm like, God, it's just too much.
The whole time up to this point, like the movie's really trying to shove down your throat, like the duality of light and darkness.
I mean, there's subtlety in certain movies, and I don't think subtlety is something that Uwe Boll's good at.
I don't think he knows what it is. It's like some people that don't understand puns. It's like even worse, because he doesn't understand subtlety.
He couldn't just use light, then to contrast light and dark. He has to fucking stand in the back room and fucking flicker the light switch. Just, you get it?
You understand?
You afraid yet? You scared to be alone in the dark?
See, let's talk about being alone in the dark. How often was anyone alone in the dark?
The only one was the fucking security guard, dude.
The security dude, he's the only guy who's alone in the dark. He is the movie.
Hacker Man was alone in the dark, too. They both died, though.
Yeah,
Maybe
I guess
the
he
theme
was.
is
He was
as
with
if
a
you're-
chick in the beginning, though.
If you're alone in the dark, you die in the dark. If you have friends in the dark, most of you will die, but some of you will live.
Together in the dark. Well, even the games, like, there's two of them. Yeah, they're separated, but they're, like, talking to each other on the fucking radio the whole time.
Yeah. So Our Lady of Perpetual Light, they find out that something's gone wrong. All of these people, like, abandon their homes. And, by the way, Carnby lives in a fucking, like, storage shed. Or, like,
A warehouse.
Yeah,
an
a
abandoned
warehouse.
warehouse.
Which is fucking...
I'm honestly surprised because, like, the game takes place, the one that this is loosely based on, takes place, like, on an island.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't just go for the whole island idea again, like he did with the House of the Dead.
I kind of wish they would have, honestly. I was like, I wish this was on that island. Like, too many characters that we don't care about. So we get, we have all that going on. The museum, stuff starts going wrong at the museum. Like, some weird shit starts happening ever since it got activated. This monster, we finally get Alone in the Dark, A New Nightmare, the monster, come out, and it kills our security guard buddy. What?
You're just fucking clicking your mouth with your foot.
Oh, sorry. Trying to relax, man. You gotta have a chill podcast every so often,
Just don't need to click on something on accident while recording.
Click on some porn. So
That would be something.
our rent-a-cop buddy gets destroyed here.
His
and-
death, by the way, was probably the best one in the whole movie.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Her and him and a cleaved woman.
Yeah, that was...
Cleaved
he
woman
was
who you
obsessed
don't
about
see.
that, too. Yeah, he had that shot like 5 times. So the rent-a-cop gets destroyed. Carnby got his revolver. Unfortunately, it's not a 2 or a double-barreled revolver like it is in the game.
Yeah.
Quite disappointed at that. I wanted to see that shit in film. But,
It's ammo for a double-barreled revolver.
yeah, curious. They find and one of the things I wrote down here, when they find the rent-a-cop, like, the blood is super dry. It's like insanely dried blood. Like, it looks like they just painted the blood around the guy's laying body and just called it good and then just fucking left.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just some crappy CGI blood that they put in post.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're like, you know what? We don't need blood now. We're going to put it in later.
Yeah, I could see that happening because it just did not fit. It was just so off.
Yeah, and the funny thing about these monsters is they're invisible. But what
They're
makes them
invisible, like, once.
But
which
yeah,
is fucking
that's
stupid.
true. Yeah, later they're not invisible. But what makes them very visible is the fact that they have to run through every piece of glass in this fucking museum.
Yeah, he goes invisible, and then he just destroys everything in his path, making him essentially not invisible.
Yeah, you can tell where he is. Just look for the destruction. Because, like, they're running away from this invisible monster, and it's just glass case after glass case just exploding.
It's not even consistent when they're technically invisible either. For the most part, you can still see some of them. It's never like they're completely, like, commando mode.
It depends on, like, the light source, I feel like. Because when they were shining the light directly on it, you could kind of see it, like, be half invisible. But, like, he went invisible when he destroyed the glass
they're
cases.
only invisible in the dark.
Oh my god!
What's the point of being fucking invisible? When people can't see me is when I'm invisible.
Yeah,
It's the best time to be invisible.
that is true. That is not a lie. You know, I'm invisible when you can't see me. You know that, right? Yeah, you can't see me right now, so I'm invisible. Yeah,
Dude, it's fucking dark. You can't see anything. Exactly.
You know, guys, when I go to the bathroom and you can't see me, I'm invisible.
You're just as invisible. I mean, I might be just as invisible as everything else in here, but I'm still invisible. Fucking stupid. So this shit goes down, and then suddenly we get the Resident Evil scene in the mansion where special forces are just busting through the windows. And the funniest thing...
this is the warehouse, right?
Yeah.
Is this after the sex scene?
Oh, no, you might be right. Yeah, I think after the museum kicks off...
Yeah, after the museum thing happens, he steals the dude... No. He doesn't steal the dude's thing yet.
Yeah, I think he steals... No, he does steal it.
No, he does steal it.
They break into both his house and also the museum. I think the museum is the one where, like, there's a part where... It's supposed to be dudes flying through the glass, you know, and like coming in through the windows, but the glass explodes, and then the guy swings in through the exploded like window
that's
frame.
when they break into the warehouse.
So we just got done talking about the museum fight with the thing.
Yeah,
right
and
after
then the
he
A-team
goes
bursts
to
through the windows in the museum, and they finally take care of the invisible monster.
Yeah, and this is Bureau 713.
And then Christian Slater has a dispute with Discount Paul Walker, and during that dispute, he grabs his pass so he can go talk to the doctor dude.
Yeah, and I guess Christian Slater's character, Carnby, used to be the lead guy over at Bureau 713, and now Discount Paul Walker.
His discount understudy is resentful because that's the only reason he got the job.
Yeah, that seems odd. Like, why does that guy dislike Carnby? I'd be like, thanks for the promotion, bro. But instead he's like, oh,
you turned your back
here?
on us.
What are you doing
You
here?
used to be one of us.
It's like, I retired.
I can't trust you anymore.
He actually was like really in love with Christian Slater, and he was disappointed that he left.
I mean, you can kind of see it later. They really get over their differences quite fast.
Yeah. I think he looked up to him, and then when he finally met him in person, he was super let down.
Yeah, never put your heroes on a pedestal.
Yeah. It's like when if you ever run into us, you know, as people, I've always said that, like when we went to
no
KupoCon.
one's fucking putting you on a pedestal, okay? Don't even begin.
When we went to KupoCon for Ultima, it was like people were like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited to meet you guys." I'm like, "Don't get too excited, because
get excited to meet us as friends.
We're not that impressive." Like,
but no one's fucking putting you on
you.
a pedestal. Besides you, Craig.
You are impressive. That's right. It is impressive to see how one can become such a man. You know.
That's right.
Just in awe at the size of your hubris. That's all.
That's right.
Yeah, and the endless pit that is your stomach.
No. See, subtlety, Uwe Boll. Subtlety.
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't get it.
He didn't.
Uwe Boll too. So anyway, after this stupid interaction happens, so like Carnby's like, "Hey, you know what, Paul Walker? Fuck you!" And they like get in a little tussle, and then they throw Carnby away, and he's like, "Back the fuck up, bro! What are you doing here? Like, what the fuck was that all about?" And then we find out that Carnby has this ID badge, and then Carnby goes to an autopsy of the uncle guy who died, right? And, like, the dude that's doing the autopsy doesn't even look up. And he's like, "Oh, hi, Carnby." And I'm like...
It's like, you shouldn't be here, Carnby.
And
I just know everything by the way you walk.
And I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
I smell Carnby over this dead body.
Hey, I'm like, how the fuck did that guy know it was Carnby? Like, what are the odds that it's Carnby?
I mean,
Basically
extremely low.
The guy who can't even get in.
It's like, oh, what are you doing here, Carnby? And he turns around. He's like, oh my god, it is Carnby. Oh, I knew
You
it.
say that everyone who walks in.
Yeah.
One of these days.
How did you know it was me?
I've missed you so much.
There was like 6 people who walked in before you.
Yeah, I missed you so much, Carnby. I was just hoping one of these days it'd be you, and oh my god, it's you. So yeah, he talks to the guy doing the autopsy.
Pull this roach out of this guy's chest. I don't.
Yeah, this fucking millipede thing.
Yeah.
And he's pulling out the infection, and he's got his Geiger counter, of course, that's going off.
The
at this...
Geiger counter that starts going off like as soon as he removes the penis worm from the dude.
The Geiger counter's off the charts, off
Yeah.
the scale.
Yeah, and then he points it at Carnby, and like it starts going
He's like,
off, and he's
you
like,
have one of those things inside you.
You are one of them.
yeah. And the crazy thing is they do an X-ray of Carnby, and the one in Carnby is just as long as the one in the other guy. But the whole thing is that the reason why Carnby wasn't activated as a
because
sleeper,
it like got electrocuted when he did in the little fucking generator thing, which
Yeah.
it never showed.
no, and also. The thing was huge, and
Yeah.
it was huge in the other guy too. So, like, do they just start out huge and not grow at all?
No, because like in another scene, it shows like
It
one
shows
of the guys
him eating a small one.
Oh, yeah,
it
that's
shows
right.
him putting it like infecting the dude with a smaller one. So it should have grown over time, but it died when he was a kid. So it should have died really tiny. But his was like as big as his fucking spinal column.
God damn it! Also, I don't know with that thing like being intertwined in your spinal column. That doesn't seem good. Like,
No, and you'd think that one of them would eventually have gone into like a doctor for some reason and maybe, gotten an x-ray and would have seen that and would have been like, what the fuck is that?
yeah, out of the 20 people, like, did no one have any health problems ever in this group of
And
people?
the thing is huge and attached to like the back of their spine. Like, how is no one seeing that when they're fucking naked? Like, what is that?
Yeah, they're like, is that
You
normal?
just got like a fucking ridge on your back? What is that?
I'm part Godzilla back there. Yeah, I got like fucking huge spine bumps.
Capable of radiation blasts and small bursts?
Yeah, fucking A, man. So-
if it's giving off that much, I mean, we didn't actually see the pascals or how much radiation was actually coming off of him, so we don't know how fucked
Well, I don't
he
think
really
it was
would be.
supposed to be a Geiger counter.
But that's
just
what it
was.
was.
It was totally a Geiger counter,
It's,
yeah.
it's like that's what it was.
Like, Carnby, what did you just take a radioactive bath? But yeah, the doctor helps Carnby, quote unquote, even though he doesn't actually help Carnby with shit, other than pulling this giant centipede out of this guy's spinal column. It doesn't really tell him a goddamn thing.
So let's get this straight. Was the centipede fused to the spinal column, or was there a chunk of spine missing? The centipede made
It
up
only
the rest.
no.
or-
It only was suggested that it was fused to the spinal column by the doctor guy. He's like, this thing is fused to the spine.
That would be awesome if it, like-
I've never seen such symbiosis. That's why no one ever noticed.
Yeah. That was the cover up. Was like, this worked very well.
It works so well.
Uwe Boll
It's
pulled
supposed
up
to
the
be your own man.
Uwe Boll pulled up the carpet and just brushed that under the fucking rug. Plot hole? I don't think so. It was a symbiotic relationship, thus no one ever noticed it. Yeah, so he finds that out. The doctor and him part ways. The doctor gets chewed out by discount Paul Walker for helping out Carnby, and he's demanded to tell Paul Walker everything he knows about the event, the issue.
He wants to know everything about Edward Carnby.
Oh yeah, that's right. He wants to know about Carnby because
He wants to know all
And
about
he
Carnby.
fucking like magically figures out that like Carnby is infected, even though like right after that scene the doctor gets infected.
It wasn't right after that scene. I mean, you. It's implied that he might have talked about it.
Well, he was like looking at some files at home. Like you would think that he was
so
looking at his information
He
about
calls.
Carnby.
He calls
like,
the doctor into the operation room, and he goes, "I know that Carnby came to visit you." Blah blah blah.
No,
in the
no, he
operation
goes-
room,
he
he's like,
calls
and then
him-
you will tell me everything about Carnby. And he storms off down the steps. This is all in like the operation room, and then the doctor goes home.
yeah. Doc goes home. Doc's wife goes to answer the door or something, doesn't come back. there's like
Yeah.
stuff cooking on the
stuff
stove.
that's cooking, but it's
It sounds
totally
like-
not cooking.
It sounds like bacon, like a rasher of bacon
it
is
sounds
cooking
Like
in there.
something's like cooking on the stove and like going pretty good at it, and you're like, wow, she's just letting his dinner burn, and that's why he gets up out of his seat. He's like, woman.
Yeah, he doesn't hear any sounds other than sizzling. So he's
And then
just
he
like,
walks by
He
it.
walks by the stove and glances, and yeah, Caleb's right. There was nothing.
It's
actually
like
cooking
soup.
On the stove.
yeah, there was like
There's
there
like
was
a fucking-
soup and there was something in a skillet, but it wasn't something.
But
like,
nothing was
was
actually
actually cooking,
cooking.
or warm. Like the stove wasn't even on.
They just the audio track of the cooking.
and
sound.
they said,
and the
like,
soup wasn't boiling or anything. Like it was just flat. You know, it
Uwe
was
Boll
just
just
fine.
made some like sausage links that day,
It's
and
like,
like
it
had
was-
his
it was-
fucking.
It was for the crew. They were just they just had it there.
Yeah,
for,
that
like,
was
part of the
craft
show.
services for the day. Yeah,
Yeah.
And then he, of course, had audio of him sizzling up some bacon and sausage earlier that morning. That he just
Like
fucking
add
imposed.
this to the this part.
Do you actually think he would have gone out of his way to record his own sounds for that?
No, he
I
had
fucking bet he found some free sound he could find online and use that shit.
no, he just had his sound guy. Like his sound guy was making breakfast and he heard it. He was like, you know what, record that. We're gonna use it later.
No, dude. Even better than that, he got a fucking what's Nightwish to do the fucking eggs and bacon sound.
This is Nightwish breakfast.
Yeah.
This is Nightwish and our new single, Breakfast.
And then other sounds that Caleb makes when he's alone.
Yeah. This has been Nightwish. Yeah, so fucking stupid.
What was that last one?
The quick jerk.
Don't even make him do it again. We're good now.
We're talking about the
No, it was like that one. Like what the fuck is that?
Don't make him do it again.
It's
Like I
when you
told he's
it's
gonna
when
do
you
it if
jerk
you think
off.
about it.
If it's when you jerk off with a flaccid penis, so it's like a small, but you jerk off so ferociously that you come before you get hard. Never done that before? I haven't actually done that, but
What are we talking about backpedaling choice?
Uwe Boll has though.
I haven't actually done that, but I know exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds like that. That is what that sound is.
I kind of wanted a moment of silence to let him stew in that for a second, but we should probably move on to the next part.
Yeah. So the guy goes up to see what the fuck happened to his wife and why his soup is getting super sizzly and loud as fuck over there. And he finds his wife laying on the floor, and he gets strangled by the old bastard that was there when
he forgot that he took a hit of beast juice.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, they when in the museum they capture one of the creatures, and Professor Hudgens like grabs this oversized syringe.
It's
Sticks
not an
it
oversized
through the
syringe. It's actually something that they do use in large animal containers. They need to take a sample or give an animal something without having to get right up next to the animal. It's that thing. So he used it and has a syringe in the front, and he pulls out beast juice, is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, and then he pulls out his arm, which has track marks from him doing this
Do you even beast juice, bro?
previously. Yeah, he's like,
I'm about to get beast juiced up, bro.
What about the beast swole up?
yeah,
beast mode.
I'm gonna get fucking crazy. And he injects this beast's blood or whatever the fuck into his arm.
All it is just a slightly purple. It's basically Kool-Aid at this point, is what it looks like inside the syringe.
So I don't think we're at this part yet, but they totally imply that those creatures are the transformed people. So, like, he's basically just injecting regular blood that's been mutated.
I didn't catch that part.
It was when they're in the warehouse, like Carnby's house, and his buddy John or whatever his name was, like comes in and just attacks him, and then like they get attacked by a bunch of monsters, and he kills one, and he's like, "I totally just killed John."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it implies that they transformed into those things.
So the people become zombies, and then they become Alone in the Dark monsters.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
He also
I guess
killed
that
his
makes
best
sense.
friend and didn't really give a shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he
he was
shot
just
him
like-
point blank, and he was over it.
I just killed John.
Yeah. Oh, I just killed John again. Like it had John's shoe, where I'm pretty sure John's foot used
he
to
may
be.
have been my best friend, but whatever. it's
No,
fine.
I mean,
I'm Cardi,
they
so
don't
I
really
don't give a
build
fuck.
that relationship of when the kids were all orphans. I mean, how many
Well,
years has it been?
John is like his best friend in the game, and I think
Oh.
they might have mentioned it.
Isn't that the
in
guy who
movie.
gets
I don't
killed?
remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the dude who gets killed. Then that's why he goes like investigate.
Shadow Island.
Yeah.
God, everything is so shadow and dark based in this shitty universe.
It's fucking terrible.
Their lord and savior is
Damn
Puxatawny
it.
Phil. You know, like
Damn it!
he
Why
who
did
casts the shadow.
Guys, we forgot to talk about one of the best setups and part in the film is when the fucking child is talking to him on the plane. He's like, "My mommy says you don't have to be scared of the dark."
It's like your mom's fucking wrong.
Your mom's a
kid.
dumb bitch, kid.
It's like, how did that conversation
Being
even
afraid of the
happen?
dark is what keeps most people alive.
And whose
like-
kid talks that way?
I've never, yeah, I know that's true. I've never been like, wow, I'm really glad I was afraid of the dark. That kept me alive in this moment. It's like I almost died in this 4-wheeler accident, but I'm afraid of the dark, and that kept me cowering, and I made it through. Yeah.
Anyway, so the Hudgens guy, after in getting beast mode from the beast blood, he chokes out the coroner guy.
Yeah,
And
oh
then-
my God.
And then he injects, and then he like gives him a penis worm to infect him.
Yeah. Oh, and then the most amazing part in the whole movie, he's like, I don't even know where the fuck the guy was, but he's like at the head of this wooded area, and he like gets his evil stance on, and then all the monsters just fly out behind him, and I'm like,
That's like near the end.
he's
yeah.
become the Beast Master. Like he's the master of puppets now. He just gave himself a little beast juice, and now he runs the world.
I mean, I did say the Master of Puppets portion, yeah.
Yeah, he's running the show now. Like anyone could be running this show. All you got to do is get a little beast mode injection in you, and you just fucking take over.
One of us.
They're all your thralls now. Like, I that's the thing I don't get is like, how the fuck is that guy the guy that's in charge?
Yeah, I don't know how he
Like,
didn't
what?
transform or get mutated or have any negative effects from that.
Yeah, he's just fine, and
Yeah,
everyone
he's
just
a
does
normal
what he
dude
wants.
the whole time.
Just juicing, man.
Yeah, you just got to juice up, bro.
Nothing bad ever came from juicing.
That's right. Yeah, nothing bad at all.
Fuck. So they then, of course, we get some the military guys, the Unit 713. They find out kind of like the main base for this thing. Like they find a spot that like the Geiger meter's going off the charts.
Oh, right before that is the when they break into his house.
Yeah, no, that's when they killed his buddy.
When they get attacked, yeah, when they get his buddy. But like right before that is the sex scene of the movie.
Yeah, no tits this time.
Which,
No.
there's no tits or anything in this movie.
Which is bullshit.
But it had the greatest accompaniment song ever.
Oh yeah, that song that they played during the soundtrack in this movie is so bad, dude. It's just it's gross.
That song by itself made that sex scene worth watching.
Yeah. Go YouTube the Alone in the Dark sex scene. It is pretty funny.
Like he preemptively like gets up for it too, because like he takes off his shirt and undoes his belt, you know, like thinking that he's gonna get nude, and then he just lays in bed with his shirt off. And then later the chick comes into his house, and then she starts stripping, and then she lays into the bed with him.
Starts tracing shapes on his back.
Yeah, with it like on his scars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he turns over, and then
So what
the
the
music
fuck are his
starts
scars
playing.
from? Like he was a paranormal expert. Like
Well, he was in that unit or whatever.
yeah, the
Yeah,
unit
but
of
what-
paranormal
Yeah.
investigators.
Yeah,
the
what
fuck
other
were they finding?
paranormal stuff
I don't
were they
know.
fighting?
I don't know.
I think we need to know that story. That's a story we need to find out. What
Well,
made
this
him
is
leave?
This is technically the 4th installment.
Together in the Light is what that movie needs to be, the prequel.
Together in the light.
Before we
and
could
then
be alone
in the dark.
Before we were alone in the dark, we were together in the light. Coming spring 2019.
Oh man.
Yeah, so awkward sex scene. It's not as hilarious as the one from any of the sex scenes in The Room, but it's just as like gross and disturbing. Uwe Boll is similar in that way with the sex scenes, where it's just like
nothing really happens in that sex scene. There's just kind of a lot of not quite topless making out,
and then like some
and then it
thrusting
just kind of like fades away
into clearly clothed individuals.
Yeah, they're just dry humping.
Yeah,
and then they're just done.
I don't think they ever actually did anything. They just kind of grinded.
Yeah,
and called it good. But yeah, then all this shit happens. The military guys show up in his house. They kill all of his friends. And shit.
Yeah, they all start showing up to attack him because they have like the artifact thing.
Yeah, that sends him after the Ocarina of Time that he currently holds.
Yeah,
and then that's when the people back at the main base for Bureau 713 start getting those readings at the tire dump.
The electromagnetic readings are off the scale.
Yeah, off the scale. It's something
unprecedented.
This chick says like 5 times the phrase "off the scale," and then they go and everyone's like setting up. They're like, "All right, this is where this shit's gonna go down. Like this is where we stand our ground. We're gonna kill these motherfuckers here." And I think that's when we get the guy in the woods, like becoming Beastmaster, and all the beasts start.
Just a little bit like after when they keep pestering this guy to get the generator restarted.
Yeah. Oh man, this is the best part of this whole movie. Is this guy working on this generator? He's like kind of a nice guy, and everyone's just being a bitch to him.
Get that generator going.
We need that generator. What the fuck is taking so long?
He probably fucked up the generator himself. Let's be honest. He's just trying to fix it as fast as he can.
Yeah, it's like, is that coffee spilled on the control panel of that generator? He's like, I got it. Don't worry. I'm gonna fix the generator. It'll be up and running, you know. And then he,
yeah, they keep asking him within like the space of 20 minutes, and he's like, it'll be done in like a second. Just a second.
Yeah, just give me some time. Just give me some fucking time. And then, you know, they're all setting it up. And then he finally gets the generator running. And then the doctor guy, Dr. Fisher, the dude who senses Carnby's presence without actually looking at him, shows up, and he like comes up to this guy right next to the generator, and he has a grenade in his hand, and the guy
no, he doesn't have a grenade in his hand. He pulls the pin on a grenade on the guy's vest.
Oh, and then the guy just is like, Fisher, no!
There's so much more emotion in that one line than the rest of everything in the movie.
And there's a fucking massive explosion takes out the generator
that
and
whole
everything.
Scene was the pinnacle of this movie.
It's pretty goddamn good.
After that scene, you could just go home. You don't have to watch the rest.
Yeah, Fisher,
no!
I just barely got this thing running again. Come on!
That was the climax, by the way.
I laughed pretty hard at that. Fisher, no!
It was building up to it for like 20 minutes for this guy to get this fucking generator restarted, and then as soon as he does, he gets destroyed along with the generator.
Man. They were giving me so much shit about getting this thing running, and it's here.
Fisher, no! There's so much emotion in that one line.
That was the most emotional scene in the entire movie.
I love that, dude. It's
shit.
so good.
So
Anyway, there's they fucking go down into this. Of course, it's like a mine shaft thing, and there's like weird sludge shit everywhere. And then they come across this fucking room with a wall. Oh no! I mean, before that,
rooms have walls. Okay, so what happens?
They go down into this pit, and then they look at this.
They send the A-team to go down to the gold mine to see what's there. And as they're going through the gold mine, they find that some of that ancient Indian civilization. By the way, this is an ancient Indian civilization. They keep playing like fucking Egyptian music.
Egyptian, yes, Middle Eastern, and all sorts of stuff. They're like, we don't know how to make this sound Native American.
They find some stuff like in the cave and whatnot. They're just like, oh wow, we're in the right place. Let's investigate further. And then one of the A-team, he goes, hey, what's this on the ground? And then this fucking perfect circular trap door opens underneath him, and he falls it's probably like 30 feet to his death on some spikes.
I think it wasn't even spikes. It was like pieces of the wood from the
No, it was spikes.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
They walk down there, and there's no spikes.
No, there's spikes if you look at it again.
Oh, when they go down?
But then they decide so they find out there's a ladder in the side of that little trapdoor tunnel, and so they all start climbing down the ladder. And then for some reason, there has to be just this giant pillar of rock that slowly like lowers itself through the tunnel. They have to hurry and climb down the ladder as fast as they can before it slams them. Then it totally that pillar totally demolishes that dude who got spiked down at the bottom, just flattens everything down there at the bottom. It's now they're stuck down in the trapdoor hole.
Yeah, and isn't this where they come across the cinder block wall?
No. So this is that comes next. But now they're down there in
Like a laboratory thing.
not yet. So this is where
No, it's
the
the
snakes
sand.
happen. This is the
Yeah.
sand snakes.
Oh, okay.
The sand snakes,
yeah,
if you
that's
have
right.
anything called the sand snakes, you're instantly shitty. Season 5 of Thrones, Uwe Boll's Alone in the Dark, just shitty.
Did they call him sand
And so
snakes?
it's like I think he took
Well, no, but
inspiration
they are.
from the monster and the trash compactor scene in Star Wars.
Yeah, or like
But-
Tremors or something.
Yeah, so stuff like that. And
Tremors on a very minuscule scale.
Yeah, very tiny Tremors.
on their way
Tremblers.
down quickly, the vein lady. One of the A team, the vein lady, she twists her knee or something so she can't walk.
Yeah, no, she fell down the hole and she
Yeah.
fucking broke her leg through her fucking skin.
I think she sprained her knee or something, or did it break her leg?
I thought it was like a compound break where it's like
compound
ripping
fracture?
through her flesh.
Yeah. Okay. So she's laying down, can't move, but then this sand snake trimmer baby thing pops out of the ground, and then just look at it.
It pops out, and yeah, it's like 7 seconds of cameo for this snake. They're like, this is most of the budget. We got to get this snake in here.
Do we not shoot it? I mean, we were shooting everything before. Let's just look at it.
They're all looking at it. Like, she's laying on the ground, looking at it, freaking out, screaming, and they're all just like, "Oh my god!" And they
And
just
so-
like cameras on it for like 10 seconds.
And then just, and then they're like, it quickly bites her and then dives back into the sand. Like, what do you expect to happen?
And then they start shooting at it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
So, anyways, they have this brief scene of them finally shooting the sand snakes and getting rid of them. And then this actor who she got bit by the snake, she convulses a bit and then dies. She dies, right? She's dead.
Yeah, the
So-
guy's Paul Walker's checking her. He's getting
So
all...
Paul Walker's really checking her. So if you go see frame by frame, he kneels, he takes a knee, and he totally grabs her underboob as he does this to check her. If you go scene by scene, you see this happening.
She'd never let me do this if she was alive.
And he grabs,
the only way to tell.
her underboob, and oh man, she died.
She's done.
And
she
so
would've beat
the
me by
second
now.
best scene of the movie happens right after. Like, okay, there's a tunnel over here. Let's just go.
Yeah, I think that's when they see the cinder block wall, and one guy's like,
not yet. They don't see the cinder block wall
fuck,
yet.
fine.
They see a tunnel leading off, and so they all stand up and start leaving the tunnel. And before the last guy stops looking at her, before they leave, she totally like starts to sit up.
yeah, her head lifts off the sand, and then the scene ends.
And then it quickly cuts. It's just like shit. I mean, one take, guys. We just gotta keep going.
And the thing was, I was like, oh, I wonder if she's going to get back up. But she never does.
no, she
She was just getting up and leaving the set. She was leaving. That was her last scene, and she's like, all right, thanks. I'm going to get my check now and leave, But they didn't cut it. The bitch starts standing up, and then the scene ends.
she's
so fucking
she
lazy.
starts to sit up right in the fucking scene. Go watch this fucking. I mean, don't watch this movie. But she gets up, and it's just like.
Yeah, she's like, her head just lifts off the sand, and then the scene ends. I'm like, oh my God.
And now they go down
Oh my
the tunnel and then the cinder block wall.
I think that's worse than the trampoline that we were able to see in House of the Dead, the movie. Because, that's going to be a prop. Like, the dude's not jumping that fucking high doing spins and shit. But this, she just starts to sit up. And they could have cut it. It's not like we needed that last second of people walking away. We get it. They're leaving the dead lady. God. Yeah, and then they come across a cinder block wall, and one of the guys points out, hey, we're not the first people to come here. And I was like, oh, what gave it away? The cinder block wall in front of us? Was it the snakes or the cinder block wall?
Well, that, and they're in a laboratory, that's clearly been there for 20 years or something. And he's just touching this
well, they get through the cinder block wall by putting a explosive on the cinder block wall. That's totally just an egg timer.
Yeah.
It's just like a thrift store egg timer that they just set to like count down.
They
from
just
5
put some
seconds.
electrical tape over the like brand name and the other end to make it look cool and dark.
And it's just a fucking egg timer. Is all it is.
That's-
Just a kitchen timer.
Dude,
Also-
they use the egg timer like 3 times for their bombs.
Also, how in the Christ did the guys get down there when the only way to get down was through a trap door ladder thing with a giant cinder block falling down? Like,
Oh, you find out there's another way down there.
oh yeah, that's right, through that guy's fucking
Through the orphanage.
shed. Oh, that's the fucking cellar at the orphanage.
Yeah, so that's how they got down there the first time. But yeah, you don't know that until later.
That's true. That's true. So they find this laboratory, and they find this little keyhole on a wall. And I was looking at it, I was like, that's not a fucking keyhole. They just like somebody poured some cement in the shape of this thing that they already have, and then they said it was a keyhole, even though it can't possibly be a keyhole. It's like a piece of slab
And all
that's
you have to do is
shaped.
bring the pieces of Exodia together to open the door.
Yeah, 5 pieces and you win the game.
Why would they make a puzzle and hide all the pieces on all the opposite ends of the earth?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I can't imagine why. Maybe it's because they don't want it to be found. Yeah.
And then they're like, you know what? Maybe we should just trust him and not open the door. And then the fucking Dr. Hudgens guy just appears magically out of nowhere.
Blasts one of the soldiers that.
Yeah, like,
that
how
lived.
did he even get
blasts,
down there?
He blasts an actor.
He
who's
didn't
not
come
important
through
to the scene.
either of the entrances because, like, the door was
He must have
sealed
just
the
been
way that
chilling
they
down there.
came.
That's true.
And then the storm cellar entrance that they
Was
came
locked
out
with a
of
bolt.
was fucking locked.
a
and he had to
rusty
shoot
old
it.
ass bolt. He had to shoot it multiple times.
So there was, like, no way for him to get down there, and he was just there.
That is a good point. Unless he rode one of those beasts down through the trap door hole.
The trap door hole closed down by the cinder block thing that came down with him.
Oh my
That's why they
God.
had to get out of the way, because it's sealed off.
Wow,
There's,
that's a good point.
There's
Yeah,
no
how the
other entrance.
How the fuck did that old man get down there? How many fucking entrances does this place have? It's the same
mean-
thing as this trap, the little secret compartment. There's like secret passageways leading.
Once you've been juicing, doors don't mean anything to you.
Yeah.
Just go through the wall.
Oh, you think you're something, cinder block, bro? Just
I wonder if he's invisible in the dark too.
he was there the whole time.
He just, it's dark, and so you don't
they
see
never,
him.
yeah,
He's
they
just
never,
following.
they never put a light on him.
Oh my
so
god,
he's there
yeah.
the whole time.
That's the thing. It's called Alone in the Dark, but it's
It's
an
all about the old
oxymoron
man.
because you're never alone because the old man's always there.
The old man's always watching.
It's the illusion of being alone in the dark that makes it the movie Alone in the Dark.
Oh
If
man.
you ever feel like you're not alone in the dark, there might be a reason for that.
Yeah, there's an old
There's
juicer
always
nearby.
something- There's always something in the dark. It's just invisible in the dark.
Oh, so maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's what they set up on that flight with that little child on the flight. It's just you have to be scared of the dark because alone in the dark, that's what you wish because you're not alone in the dark.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
Holy shit.
Maybe he's just too subtle for us.
Yeah.
Oh man, Uwe Boll is like so subtle. It
pulled his
doesn't
foot down.
actually seem like he's subtle.
It seems obvious, but it's not. It's really not.
He hides his subtleties
he's
with his overhandedness. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah.
He's made a perfect storm of a movie, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, old man demands that the door gets opened. Everyone kind of drops their weapons and they...
No. It's funny. He's watching them like almost open the door, and when they decide not to, he's like, instead of having them stay there and open the door for him, he has them has the scene where he threatens them. They finally hand over the key, and then he like slowly walks backwards to open the door. So they could have jumped him there, but no. It wouldn't have opened without this. And he slides in the gold cylinder into the center of the key that,
Yeah, and then
the whole
it
thing is
shines
flawed.
gold suddenly. It's like, oh! I'm like, fucking stupid. Yeah, and then he opens up the...
Wait. Maybe that's why they're radioactive, because this ancient civilization figured out how to make teeny atomic reactors before... That's it. They discovered atomic energy before anyone else did.
And
That's
it
why they're
destroyed him.
radioactive.
And then they
Holy
became the
shit.
creatures. So they open up this thing, and then it's just this huge hive of these beasts just like an unholy amount of the monsters that they are barely able to kill with their special plated weapons.
Yeah, their fucking guns are so fucking inconsistent. Like, they get these special bullets that are supposed to like mimic both like the elements of that are they're weak to, and also like sunlight at the same time. And then they fucking are supposed to just destroy these creatures, right? And this entire like group of soldiers has them. They're shredding these guys, and they can't fucking touch them. But when the dudes are alone and they're trying to kill these creatures, they can kill them just fine. They can kill them just fine if they're by themselves.
Because they were alone in the dark. They had strength in being alone. But not alone because the old man was there the whole time.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, there's no consistency whatsoever when it comes to the ammo.
Yeah, like freaking the beginning when Carnby's shooting somebody's uncle in the beginning. He just like the dude takes like 5 shots and it does nothing.
But the moment he gets speared by a hook, he's done.
Yeah,
he's dead.
And then he gets special bullets, and he can just like
the hook severed
by himself
the bug that was fused to his spine.
Well, yeah, there was that, but like he was also punching him, and the punches were doing more damage. And then you got
for sure.
And then you got when they're attacking like his house, like he's by himself, just shooting these things, and he's taking them all out.
Yeah, inconsistency in that, but they finally open the door. And how did they end up taking out the old man?
The chick shot him.
No, the chick didn't shoot him. The Paul Walker pulled out a throwing knife from.
Yeah, that's right.
So he turns
Throwing
around to
knife.
open the door, and he just totally like underhand throws the knife straight into his chest. But now the door is open, so they're still fucked.
Which is funny because nothing comes out of that door. Nothing. They managed to close it after like going in there for a second to see what's in there.
And they see a whole bunch of the same beasts in there, like thousands of them, and they all start wanting to rush out the door to invade the earth, but they decide to blow up the tunnel and then I guess use the rubble to close the door.
They
had a bomb in like the bag, and he like left the bomb there.
Yeah,
so like when they're going to escape after managing to shut the door again, he runs back, opens the door again, grabs the bomb, and then like arms it with the egg timer, and then like throws the bomb into the open door for the creatures to come after. And then he like starts trying to run away, only giving himself 5 seconds to fucking like get out of the way of this blast. And then the fucking blast is so huge, it like incinerates everything in the tunnel and like explodes at the fucking storm cellar thing that Edward Carnby and his girlfriend barely managed to escape from.
Yeah.
Everything in there gets destroyed.
Oh yeah, and it's a shitty looking flame. Honestly, it looks like trash. But
so like there was no point for him to try and run because he was immediately dead.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Paul Walker, dollar store Paul Walker, huge sacrifice, dies to save everybody. But then it's kind of implied that mankind is doomed and the whole city is abandoned, evacuated.
Somehow the city was warned that there were creatures, and they were like. They had the city like abandoned.
Yeah,
and it looks totally fine. By the way, there's like no mayhem left over from this. It's like totally clean.
It almost looks like the Raccoon City when we're doing that shot. Almost looks like abandoned Raccoon City.
Yeah.
Except for it's not on fire like Raccoon City.
Yeah,
and then and they're like in the daylight, which is supposed to be completely, like
safe,
deadly to these things. And then you get the implied thing that they're getting attacked by one of the creatures, like right at the end.
Yeah, and it kind of sets up a second movie, which is the thing, isn't it?
I don't know if there's a second one. If there is, it went straight to DVD.
Shit, I don't know if there is. It sets it up to where there could be one, though.
Yeah, it does.
And that's where the movie ends. That's when we get the fucking "Wish I Had an Angel" fucking Nightwish song.
Which is like
the only time Nightwish actually is a part of the movie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, this movie is it's pretty stupid, and I only truly laughed at the guy getting blown up with his generator.
Yeah, that
was the pinnacle.
No,
I think we laughed like 3 times, and it was the sex scene, which mostly because of the song. and then because of the generator thing, and then like the throwing knife.
Oh yeah.
Oh no! Don't forget that we laughed when he totally felt up that girl. And
Oh yeah, the feeling
and
up
then
of
when
the
she
girl,
started to
and
get
then
up.
like her still being alive afterward. Yeah, that too.
Oh,
Okay,
and
so there's
then-
4 times.
Yeah. And the nun at the beginning of the movie who was in on the conspiracy like slit her own wrists and they found her dead.
Yeah, in the orphanage where all the children were gone from again.
Yeah. The kids just keep disappearing from this orphanage, whether it be the Beastmaster or other unknown circumstances.
The slave becomes the master.
Yeah, so that's where this piece of shit movie ends. It's got a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes, the worst,
Second worst rated film of video games.
the worst rated Uwe Boll film.
Yeah.
Which is saying something because he's one of the worst rated directors ever.
I think the next worst one from him is a 3%, so it's not so much different.
I would say that's 3 times better than this movie, which means I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I mean, like, there was stuff to laugh about in this one. We've had some worse ones.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, we laughed at like one thing in Wing Commander, and that's just because of like the pure ridiculousness of like shoving off a ship and then
That
just
was
having
funny,
it fall.
but then the gay scene too. That was
Well,
pretty
yeah,
funny.
but that was like, it was mostly because like you thought it was really funny, and then it was. But
So there is an Alone in the Dark 2. And
oh my god, is there?
yes. And it was, in fact, not directed by Uwe Boll.
Oh man,
He produced it, though. And this guy plays Edward Carnby, this Asian man here. So
Sweet.
he does become Asian.
One of our off episodes will have to be the sequel.
Yeah. So they did set it up in a way that did actually cause a sequel to happen. So who knows what happens from here. But overall thoughts from me, I think this movie is kind of a waste of time. It wasn't the worst video game-based movie. It's pretty bad. And it's consistently terrible throughout, but it's not super, super boring like some of the other ones have been.
Yeah, there was some... Oh, my God, there was something we forgot to talk about. There was, like, the scene where everything is completely dark, and then they just, like, are shooting random directions. And,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It shows the flashes of their shots for, like, 5 minutes. The, like, when he did the video game transitions and the
old,
slow-mo and the
the
House of the
unrecoiled
Dead.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty stupid. It was just one part with a handgun. It's just like, it just has serious kickback, and I'm like, God. So Uwe Boll sort of figured out how guns work in between this movie and his last movie. But
Yeah,
not
I was
quite.
actually surprised that when he did the shot on the bullet going into the dude and breaking the ice apart at the beginning, it wasn't just like the whole casing.
Yeah.
It was just like the cap itself.
Yeah, it was just the
bullet
slug.
itself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's impressive. He learned a lot since his first movie.
Yeah.
Learned a lot. Well, his first
So,
video game movie. Anyway.
Where did we rank this one in the old list of films?
Well, Schweiss didn't rank his.
You guys ranked yours?
Yep.
Yeah. But Cam put it third to last, and I put it fifth.
Do you just want to reread our
The
title
list.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right, Cam's is Tomb Raider 2018, Rampage, Tomb Raider
Cradle of
1,
Life.
Cradle of Life.
So wait. Is it here?
It's Cradle of Life. It just looks like an L. Lara Croft Tomb Raider, dude, your fucking C looks like an L. And Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat, Resident Evil, second Resident Evil, Street Fighter, Doom, Wing Commander, Super Mario Bros, Alone in the Dark, House of the Dead, and Double Dragon. Mine's Rampage, Tomb Raider 2018, Tomb Raider 2, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tomb Raider, Mortal Kombat 2, Resident Evil, Doom, Mario Bros, Alone in the Dark, Double Dragon, House of the Dead, and Resident Evil 2 and Wing Commander. Resident Evil 2 is actually higher up. I had to draw an arrow.
All right.
What is yours?
Oh, you guys never put my last times?
You never put your last times down either. past few times, you just are too lazy to actually write it down.
You just like read your old list from like wherever the last time you wrote it down was.
Oh wow, you're right. I'm going back here, and I have not updated in some time.
Yep, that's the Schweiss way.
All right, so my rankings for this movie will be discovered.
God, that's like the last 4 movies.
So I had Rampage is number 1, Tomb Raider 2018, Tomb Raider Cradle of Life, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Mortal Kombat 2, Resident Evil 2, Lara Croft's Tomb Raider, Super Mario Bros., Doom, House of the Dead, Wing Commander, and Double Dragon. And I am going to put this as the third worst one, below House of the Dead, because House of the Dead I got some pretty good laughs at.
House of the Dead was pretty funny.
This one is not really that funny, and it's pretty bad. It's like nothing about this movie is good.
No, nothing about any of those last few movies we watched has been good.
Yeah, so Alone in the Dark, not a great movie. If you want one that's more fun, I think House of the Dead is more fun and way funner to talk about and laugh at. This one, it was only a few scenes of laughter and joy. The rest of it's
definitely
shitty.
filmed really poorly and shitty, but like there are some laughs because of how ridiculous some of these things are.
Right, and this one kind of lacked that a little bit, but
yeah,
shit. That's all I got. Stay tuned for our next video game based movie, which will be, oh my God, Blood Rain. Also, surprisingly enough, directed by Uwe Boll, and we've got some big actors in this movie, like Michael Madsen is in there, Billy Zane, Matthew Davis. Yeah, I am so excited. Meatloaf is in this next one. Ben Kingsley.
Man, Meatloaf is in there.
Ben Kingsley.
I don't remember
is in this
Meatloaf
movie.
being in Blood Rain.
Yeah.
Does he do like the soundtrack, or is he like actually an actor in there?
He's listed as an actor, so.
Oh man,
We've got another Uwe Boll coming up, but guys, until then, as always,
enjoy the nude.
Time to get good.
live always in the nude.
Yeah!